Hi, my name is Melissa Leroy. Today we are going to be making an individual gluten-free, sugar-free vegan brownie. The reason why I chose this recipe today, many of you who have recently gone gluten-free and sugar-free, one of the main complaints that I hear is having to give up sweets, or the thought of having to make a whole pan of brownies when really you just have that craving for one brownie that specific night. So let's get started. First, let's go over the ingredients. We're going to start with 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. If you wanted to make this recipe non-vegan, you could actually substitute this for 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. We're then going to add to that 2 tablespoons of stevia. For those of you who may not be familiar with stevia, stevia is an all-natural sweetener and it's derived from the stevia plant. To that, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of water, a 1/4 teaspoon of mint extract. You can also, instead of the mint, you can use vanilla extract. I chose the mint because the final product is going to taste a little bit like a peppermint patty, and mint is also very good for your digestive system. A pinch of salt. To that, then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of unsweetened organic cocoa powder. And then finally, 4 tablespoons of gluten-free flour. And then we have fresh mint leaves as a garnish. So let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add the 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil into our bowl. The trick of working with stevia, if you've not had the opportunity to bake with or cook with stevia, is to ensure that your base, either the oil or butter that you're going to be using, is slightly heated. And the reason why you want this is to ensure that the stevia is going to melt just a little bit. That is going to produce a very rich, smooth brownie. So if you do not heat this, then you may risk the chance of having a grainy baked good. So we're going to pop the extra virgin olive oil into the microwave for 20 seconds just for it to heat up slightly before we stir in the stevia. Now that our extra virgin olive oil is heated, we're going to gently take that out of the microwave, and we are going to pour in our stevia. You want to give this just a little bit of a whisk to kind of incorporate that. The texture that you should be seeing is almost like a syrup texture. You'll see that it's still a little grainy. However, with the heat now of the oil, it'll get smoother. You want to just whisk this until it's smooth and just kind of covers the bottom of the bowl. That's just about perfect. Okay. From there, we're going to add in our 2 tablespoons of water, 1/4 tablespoon of mint, a dash of salt. Now the salt is actually going to make sure that all of these flavors blend and you'll be able to really taste the chocolate and the mint in this recipe. We're going to add in our cocoa. At this point, you want to make sure, because cocoa has a tendency to clump, as you can see here, you want to make sure that you really whisk this up. So you want a smooth consistency every time that you're going to add in your dry ingredients. Okay, so we're going to really whisk this. If you have a little hand mixer at home, you can also use that as well. My rule of thumb is, if you're going to be eating sweets, burn some calories while you're making it. So you can see here we now have a nice chocolate smooth consistency. To that, then we're going to add the 4 tablespoons of gluten-free flour. And again, we're going to make sure and whisk this very well. So you can see now we're really coming up with a thick batter, and this is perfect. This is ideal for that perfect brownie. Should be really nice and thick. Want to make sure and just tap that whisk, get all of that out. We want to make sure that we get all of that in our bowl. We're now going to transfer this to a ramekin. You want to make sure that you're just going to use your spatula to kind of scrape down the sides of that, where we're going to get all of that. There happen to be a little bit of cocoa powder and or flour that's not gotten mixed in well, just use the fold over method. Just mix it with that spatula before putting it in the ramekin. This is just going to make for a nicer presentation if you have company coming over. If it's just you and you're craving that individual brownie, I would just keep it in the mixing bowl. No harm done. It's going to taste the same and delicious either way it's presented. So we're just going to smooth this out. The cooking times in microwaves vary depending upon your microwave. It's recommended to start this out. You do not want to overcook this. It's recommended to start it out at about 50 seconds in the microwave. You want it to be just a little shiny and soft in the middle. So do not overcook this. So we're going to put it in the microwave, start it off for 50 seconds. After 50 seconds, please be careful as you take this out of the microwave. The bowl will be hot. Make sure and grab it, the ramekin. As you can see here, we still have a very soft, shiny looking center to the brownie. This is perfectly done. Our next step that we're going to do for garnish is we're just going to add some fresh mint leaves to the top of it and enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. This is one of many gluten-free, sugar-free recipes that I have enhanced for healthy living. Thanks so much for watching.